Verse 12. Atma Sakshi Vibhuha Purna Eko Muktaschidakriya Asango Nispraha Shanto Brahmat Samsara Vaniva. We'll go word by word. The first word, Atma Sakshi, means I am the witness. I'll start with explaining it with reference to the dream state first. So in the dream, a dream is going on. Yeah? There is some dream character, there is some dream world, some dream story going on. Yes? When I become the dream character in the dream world, I have identified with a body mind in the dream world. At that time, I don't know I am dreaming. At that time, what happens? I feel I am doing, I am experiencing, this is happening to me. Yes? So, at that time, I am not Atma Sakshi. When am I Atma Sakshi? Those few moments of truth when I automatically take this step beyond and recognize, oh, I'm dreaming. This is a dream. Yes, those few moments that happen, that moment of truth, that's when I am a Sakshi. Otherwise, I am a Bhokta, experiencer. So this is in the dream state. Yeah, I recognize in those moments, oh no, nothing is happening to me. I am only witnessing a dream. Whatever the contents of the dream, the contents don't matter. The recognition, that aha moment. Oh, this is a dream. That aha moment. Yes, that is when I recognize I am the Sakshi, Atma Sakshi. I am the witness. Now, the same thing in the waking state. In the waking state, for the longest time, I have identified with this waking character. And I feel I am this. It's very hard for this waking character to completely disassociate with everything. It is a part of this. So if you are trying that this waking character should change its behavior, its attitude, it will not happen. So some of you came for one-on-ones, you're expecting that this waking character should not do or should do. No. You're misunderstanding again. This waking character is not the witness. Yes? The witness is the one that knows the waking character. The waking character does not know the witness. Do you recognize this little nuance? It's very subtle. This body-mind person does not know the witness. The witness knows the body-mind person. And there are moments when naturally there is a distance. I do not identify with this waking body-mind. Yeah? That is my true glimpse. Aha, I am the witness. When there's that natural distancing. These glimpses come to me whether I'm on the spiritual path or I'm totally seeped into the material world. Everyone is blessed with these glimpses, the glimpse of the truth. But I brushed it aside. I didn't give it importance. I chose to ignore it. I chose to be bound and assume I am this waking character. Now, after I've come to the Advaita path, now I've understood this. Now I see the truth. Now I know, oh, that is truth and this is lies. So, Atma Sakshi, I am the witness. Now, voluntarily, willingly, I go to my truth. I take the correct stand. It's not that I have to really shift from here to here. That's just a way of communication. I express it like that. The witness is not really shifting. The witness is like space. Is the space moving? No. It's still, I am. I always was the witness. It's not that I have to become the witness. I don't have to metamorphose into something else. No, there is no becoming. I already am the witness. I was just ignoring it. Now I acknowledge it. That's the only difference. So, I am the witness of Ekta. I am not Ekta. Is this clear? Like that. That's how you start seeing yourself. Address this separately. This body mind is hungry. This body mind needs to go out for a walk very restless. This body mind is sleepy. This body mind is the family member involved in this conversation. You don't have to say this out aloud. It's an internal recognition. This body mind is involved with the family right now. I am witnessing both that family member and this body mind in this interaction. So you are now attempting to see that distance which was always there between the witness and the body mind. But I ignored it. I chose to ignore this distance. Now I'm willingly, voluntarily seeing this distance. Again, you're not creating the distance. It's always been there. You cannot create the distance. Yeah, the distance has always been there. That is why the witness cannot taste how much ever the body mind tastes. That is why the witness cannot hear. It is the body mind that hears. Yeah, the witness cannot experience touch. It's always lusting for that touch. How much ever the body mind experiences touch. So I recognize this very clearly and I refuse to fool myself now. Is this clear? Atma Sakshi.
So the witness is the consciousness that lends consciousness to
The body mind.
the body mind, so the body mind can experience.
Yes.
But it can never experience.
It can never experience. For example, electricity gives its energy to a phone. The phone can ring, the phone can dance, the phone can sing to you, it can show video. Electricity cannot show video. Electricity cannot sing a song to you. Electricity cannot ring. Pure consciousness is electricity. And the witness has borrowed its energy. Then witness gives its little bit of energy to the mind. Then the mind gives little bit of energy to the body. Yeah? That is why infinity of the reflections are happening. That's why I put those two mirrors outside. When you come for a one-on-one, you have some spare time. Stand in between the two mirrors and see the infinity of reflections that you see. Yeah, that is the meaning of pure consciousness reflects its consciousness on the witness. The witness reflects its consciousness on the mind. The mind reflects its consciousness on the body. The body reflects its consciousness as the world. It's only one. Actually, there is only one. That is the meaning of oneness. Clear? Atma Sakshi. I am the witness. I am not this body mind person. So, this body mind person is involved in this. This body mind person is automatically programmed in this. My projection is programmed. My projection is like a movie. Yeah, in my projection, I have a desire and I attain the desire. It's a movie, it's an entire story that I have projected. I might not be able to project details, but because I have the force of attraction towards object A, the story is going to proceed for me to either achieve object A or lose object A. depending on whether it was the force of attraction or force of repulsion. You got it, how projection is happening, right? Yeah? So this is my own projection. My own projection. It has a coded program for the story to manifest and reveal itself. It will continue to reveal itself. So this body mind is a part of that program. This world is a part of that program. They work according to the projection. Yeah? So I've already projected. Yes? Then I start perceiving it. I start perceiving the story unfold from scene to scene to scene. I forget that I'm the witness. I jump in. I become this body mind. And now I want to control the scene to scene to scene. It's done. Too late. It's done. The body mind is a part of the scene to scene to scene. I am not the body mind. I am not part of the scene. I am sitting on that seat watching the movie now. So, what is misery? The witness jumping in, pretending to be able to change the scenes, pretending to be in control. That is the misery. The moment I go back to my correct stand, oh, I can only witness. I'm at peace. If I choose to be free, I'm free. If I choose to be bound, I'm bound. Atma Sakshi is very clear. Yes? Both in dreaming and waking, very, very clear. Yeah? Now, what about deep sleep? The witness collapses. It's become one. The drop merged into the ocean. It became the ocean. Yes? Then where am I bound? What bound? I've become the ocean, no? I have merged into the pure consciousness, but I am unaware of my true nature. That is why deep sleep is ignorance. And when I come out of deep sleep, what do I say? I was absent. So I don't know about myself. That is the proof of my ignorance. I was absent. I was not there. Yes? That ignorance about the deep sleep. Yeah? The true meaning of it. The truth about me. Yeah? That is ajnana. So when I start becoming a witness and staying in my stand, I recognize I'm a witness of the waking. I'm a witness of the dream. Oh, I'm a witness of the deep sleep state as well. There is nothing like deep sleep. There is nothing like deep sleep. Deep sleep
It's a concept.
is a concept, an idea that I was absent. I was very much present. I was there. Yes, that's why I know the peace. Who knows the peace? Who knows that happiness? Ah, I slept so well last night. Yes, I know it. I was there. And that which knows itself is the pure consciousness. So I am there, but I don't know I am there. When I don't know I am there, that is ignorance. When I start recognizing, when I come on the Advaita path and start recognizing, no, I am there. That's why I said I slept so peacefully. That's when I recognize, ah, I am there. I am there in waking, I'm there in dreaming, I'm there in deep sleep. I am there. Continuously I am there. Yeah? It's the ocean recognizing I'm always the ocean. That's it. I'm not absent. I cannot be absent. I am all. I am everything. There is no question of I am absent. When that ignorance is white, when I am absent is white, means I am there. Atma Sakshi. Clear? Yeah? There is the lower witness and the higher witness. Lower witness was the witness consciousness. When the witness consciousness merges into pure consciousness recognizes there is no concept of I am absent. It knows itself. It knows I am. Yeah? It doesn't say I. It just knows that there is no question of me being absent. Atma Sakshi, that is the higher witness. When the drop merged into the ocean, then who's witnessing? That question can come up, no? Well, the ocean knows that I am there. The ocean knows I am not absent in deep sleep. So it's the higher witness.
Okay.
Atma Sakshi is very clear, the first word. Yeah, that is me. That this entire verse describes me. Me, the pure consciousness. Atma Sakshi is my first description. Second, Vibhuhu, all pervading, infinite, like this space is infinite, it's everywhere, all pervading. What does that imply? I'm not limited to the dream body, the dream body mind in the dream state. Yeah, under the waking, I'm not limited to this waking body mind in the waking state. And in the deep sleep state, I'm not limited to the idea of darkness or nothingness. Yeah? If consciousness was only nothingness, it would be only 50%, no? It is both somethingness and nothingness. It is beyond something and nothing, both. Yes? All pervading, vibhuhu. Second part of it, there is no border to me. Yes, a lot of people think, okay, I can only see so much. I can only see this room. Oh, so my awareness has a border. No, no. Awareness does not have a border. Can't you hear the traffic which is far away? Outside the border of the visual field. Yeah, so you cannot say awareness has the limitation that the visual field has. Yeah. What about the sound field? Yeah, you can hear sounds from far away. Yeah, some of us are fortunate enough to hear the sound of creation, anhad nad. Can you hear it now? Can you tell me where is it coming from? All pervading. It's all pervading. It's everywhere. Yeah. So you cannot limit awareness. Awareness is all pervading. Taste, touch, and smell have a very small field. Very small field. Taste has a very small field. Touch has a very small field. So you cannot say awareness is only these 5 fields. Yeah? Awareness is beyond. In the dream state, there is no physical body. There is no physical visual field, yet there is seeing. There is no physical auditory field, yet there is hearing. There is no physical tactile field, yet there is touching. There is no physical olfactory field, yet there is smelling. There is no physical gustatory field, yet there is tasting. This is because awareness is all pervading. Pervading beyond the waking state as well as beyond the dream state. And in the deep sleep state, there is the recognition of the absence of the waking and dream. Who knows their absence? The all-pervading awareness is there beyond waking and dream and knows their absence in the deep sleep state, just like it knows their presence in the waking. all pervading, vibhu. Third word is purnaha. Purnaha is complete. This is purna, full, complete, perfect. Is there any room for water anymore? It's completely full. That which is already full, that which is already perfect, if it mistakenly assumes, I am not full, I am not perfect, I need to become full, and it tries to fill up, how much ever water I put in this, can it be more than? No, it's already full, it's complete. Yes, that's exactly how you are. You, the consciousness, are full, complete. There is no room for even one drop more. But if an assumed idea arises in you that no, I will touch and I will feel even more perfect and full and complete. How much ever you touch, will you feel it? There is no room left for you to feel the touch. There is no room left for you to experience taste. Because you're already full. There is no room left for you to experience smell. There is no room left for you to experience sight. And how much ever you go on putting in this, it will keep overflowing. Yeah, right now if I try to put water in this, it'll overflow. It'll never be more than what it already is. Yes? Do you get it? Yeah? That's exactly what has happened. There is forgetfulness of the purnata, of the fullness, of the perfection. And there is this wrong assumption that this will fulfill me. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. This something, this will make me feel purna, complete. Yeah? This is a false assumption. It's a story. It's a story created. The moment the witness creates a story, what does it become? The mind. Yes? And why can't it be full? Whatever you put goes through. Means what? Whatever you put in that glass, it overflows, it spills over. That is why there is no satiation. It's not possible. Not possible. Now remember, there is no separate entity called the mind. It is the witness that has forgotten itself and become the bottomless spot called the mind. Now I experimented on myself. Again and again I experimented today all day. Right? I wrote down all my successes, all my failures. I saw that, oh, at that point of time, when I had the success, when I had the failure, I claimed, I did it, I did it, I did it. Today, when I look back in retrospect and I see, oh no, there was no feeling of great happiness. That time I faked it. Maybe for friends, maybe for family, maybe to show the world, yes, I'm happy. I'm feeling so complete. I'm feeling so full. But today, when I really look at it, no, there was no feeling of fullness. I was faking it. I was faking it. Oh, I constantly fake it. Who is faking it? Oh, I've become the mind. I've taken the wrong stand of the mind. I've taken the wrong stand of the mind. I'm bottomless, no? If I'm the mind, I'm bottomless. Whatever I put will go through. I have to take the correct stand. The moment I switch to the correct stand, everything corrects itself. Oh, I am full. That is why in few moments of truth, it suddenly reveals to me that how much ever I eat, I do not feel satiated by this. It cannot satiate me. In that moment of truth, it comes. How much ever I touch, I'm not going to feel that fullness through this because I am full. When I go to that no thingness, I rest and I'm so full, I'm complete. Oh, that is bliss. That ananda is unbeatable. It cannot come from this little wonderful, flavorful taste, or it cannot come from that wonderful thing, wonderful odor. It cannot come by possessing this object. No, that ananda is incomparable. It's already there and it's full. That is why I don't taste anything. That is why I cannot smell anything. That's why I cannot touch and experience that satiation from touch. I am Purna. This is the recognition in the waking state. If it's not happened, see that you contemplate all this. Do little manana. Do little nididhyasa. Can I figure it out? Do a little self-inquiry. Can I get there in my own inner seeing? Yeah? You remember I spoke about consciousness being beyond both opposites? So it has the freedom to choose to be full and see that it is full. It has the freedom to ignore that it is full. It is both. This is the waking state recognition of Purna. Now, what about the dream state? Purna in the dream state. Do I recognize I am Purna in the dream state ever? I am eating pizza in a dream. I have become the dream character. Yes, and I'm eating pizza in my dream. I'm in a pizza restaurant or whatever. I love it. It's delicious. Why am I eating pizza in the dream? Because of the sense of incompletion. Maybe I had the craving during the day. I didn't get pizza. I'm eating pizza in the dream. There is the sense of incompletion. Suddenly, when I become a witness to the dream, what happens? It drops off. Why did it drop off? There's the recognition of Purnata. I don't need that to complete me. That is the reason a dream drops off. Otherwise, why would the dream drop off? It's such a delicious dream. It's not a tiger. It's your favorite pizza, your favorite flavor. There is no reason for the dream to drop off. The only reason the dream drops off is when I become the witness, I recognize the fullness, and I feel I do not need this to fulfill me. Yes? So, you can recognize Purnata in the Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, in your dream. These are glimpses of truth. So if it's not happened, sit with that soft intention today on the bed in the night, just before going to sleep. May I recognize Purnata in my inner seeing today. Just a soft intention for your own self. Not a prayer to any God, okay? There is no God out there listening to me. Please give me a dream pizza today. And please let me feel complete at the end of the dream. No, there is no God doing it for you. Yeah? It's a soft intention for me. It's a command that I'm generating so that I see the truth. That's simple. The moment there is complete disconnect with the dream body mind or the physical body mind, the moment there is a disconnect, there is that recognition. I am full. I am awareness. I do not need anything to complete me. Can you take that stand right now? Become the witness right now. Does the witness do anything? Is it listening? Is it tasting the residual food or the taste of saliva in the mouth? Is it sitting still? There's no doership, there is no experiencership. Is it just knowing? Is it just knowing? It is just knowing all of this. There is no doership. Correct? Very, very clear? Yeah? Similarly, is there experiencership? There's no doership, there is no experiencership. Isn't it complete? It doesn't need to do, it doesn't need to experience. That recognition that is there right now, that same recognition is there in the dream. That is why a dream drops away. Oh, I don't need to experience the taste of pizza to fulfill me. I don't need to go to a pizza restaurant to feel happy. That recognition, oh, this is a dream. It drops away. Have you ever seen a dream continue? It drops away. You can choose to jump in and become the dream character again. That is different, but at the witness level, the dream never continues. Why does it drop off? Feeling of fullness, the feeling of Purnata. I am complete. I don't need anything to complete me. Waking state example, you are in a big dramatic argument with somebody. Yes? Big argument. You've become this person that is arguing. And suddenly there's this recognition. You become the witness. What's going on? What happens? Doesn't the argument lose steam? Automatically. Why does it lose steam?
No interest.
Yes. I'm already complete. I'm already full. This argument cannot satiate me, cannot fill me up or make me complete. Or you see that? It's not in these words. It's a recognition. The recognition has been described in the Sanskrit shlokas. You have to recognize it through your own inner seeing. Purna, complete. I don't need anything to complete me. Now, deep sleep state. The ignorance drops away about I am absent. Once that ignorance drops away, I know I am. Just that recognition I am there, that itself is Purnata. It's a sense of completeness. I am.